little bit of his Toastmaster resume. He joined Toastmasters in Toronto, where he originally lived, and he was moved up here a couple years ago. Since then, he's been with Percolators Club. But in his area directorship, he has been in a position that many of you will find yourselves in with a club that was very low in numbers and very close to being suspended. And he worked right alongside that club to ensure that at the 11th hour, they made it through, knowing the nuances with Toastmasters International, et cetera, et cetera. So he has been there and has great experience with clubs with low members. And from a professional standpoint, he has quite a resume as well. So Dr. Joe Energy Piazza is a tour guide, a storyteller, a podcast creator, and an interviewer. He's a co-creator and co-founder of BU Network, an online podcast, presentation, and public speaking company. Joe is a licensed doctor of chiropractic, as well as a master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy, as well as coaching. He has long been a student of both human movement and human behavior. He has made it his mission to assist others in healing the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aches and pains of their lives, all while being true to who they really are, as naturally are. As he prefers to say, be you. So please welcome Joe Piazza, the club coach chair for 2020-2021.
Thank you, Amy. So we are going to be talking today about the next level of leadership and why the coaching program within the district is so important. So as Amy mentioned, I have brought a lot of experience with me to this role. I'm currently the president of Percolators Breakfast Club. I'm just coming off of being the vice president of membership, and I've served as the vice president of membership in my previous club in Toronto called the Court of Blarney, as well as the vice president of education. So I've been playing with Toastmasters for about almost 5 years now, and having an absolute blast with it. I'm so excited to be the club coach program chair this year. I've shared there with you also my email address with the district. It's clubcoachchair@tmd61.com. So if anything comes up, you need to get a hold of me, that's where you do it. The reason that I'm so excited about this program and specifically this position within the district is I've been able to boil down my mission in life to a very simple sentence, and it's simply this: to empower the greatness that's in every one of you as much as I possibly can. One of my mentors shared with me that a good leader is somebody who reminds others of how great they are until they remember it themselves. So this is what I see my position as, is helping you discover the leader in you and be the best that you can be until you're able to get out there and do it on your own and help others do it as well. So Toastmasters International has a brand promise, and that is about empowering individuals through personal and professional development. Toastmasters is a place to practice communication and leadership skills and then take it out into our life. I like to think of Toastmasters as a laboratory where I get to pick and choose different ingredients, different chemicals, different ideas, and test them out, put them all together, and then try them in a different way and see what works. And then I can take that out into the world. One of the things that I do as a doctor of chiropractic is I do many public health talks. I do them in corporations, I do them within the office, I do webinars within the office as well. So Toastmasters has allowed me a place to try out different talks, different speeches, and different ideas to see how they best connect with my audience. And so I want to encourage you in your Toastmasters journey as division directors, as area directors, and as club executives to really play, experiment with Toastmasters. It's already been mentioned as well today about integrity. Kimberly mentioned this earlier this morning about integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We want to be able to maintain these 4 pillars of Toastmasters International values as we go out and work with the clubs. Without these 4 pillars, what we do can become scattered, but if we can always bring it back to having the integrity, the respect, the service, and excellence, we're going to deliver an excellent program for people. Next, the district mission, as Amy mentioned earlier today, is about building new clubs, and we've heard a lot about that, and probably in your strategy session at the training, the area directors and division directors heard a lot about this. I want to highlight the second half of this, of the district mission: support all clubs in achieving excellence. This is what the Club Coach program is there for. It's to support you in supporting the clubs. We're here to help you and work with you. So I just wanted to go over all of those. So how do you qualify to be a club coach, and how does a club qualify to get coached? Well, a club needs to have at least one member, but no more than 12 members. So if they are at 12 members or below, they fall into what we call club coaching territory. A club coach, you need to simply let us know, myself or Amy or your division director, if that you would like to be a coach, or that you have somebody that you would like to introduce us to as a great coach candidate. And we'll go over some of that in a little bit later. The coach themselves cannot be a member of the club that they are appointed to coach when they are appointed. They can join later if they so choose, but they cannot be a member of that club when they are appointed. So in other words, the coach has to be new to the club. So it's a pretty simple process of deciding about club coach. Now, we know right now that there are, and I'm going to give you some numbers here, there are 65 clubs in the district that are currently in coaching territory. So they have at least one, but less than 12 members. 11 of those 65 clubs currently have a coach. So that means that we now have 54 clubs that are in coaching territory and they do not have a coach. Now, we can also appoint up to 2 coaches per club. So 2 coaches per club is a possibility, which means that there are a possibility of 108 coaching positions available currently within the district. Not every club is going to want 2 coaches, and not even every club is even going to want a coach. That's just sometimes the way it is. However, as division directors, area directors, it's up to you to communicate with the clubs about where they're at, what they need. This goes back to what Tanya was just sharing about the area director reports. How can the district help the club? And the club coaching program is just one of the tools that we can help clubs with. In my opinion, there are 3 pillars of what makes a successful club. 1 is having great meetings. 2 is about having great members, and 3 is about having great guests. So in sense of meetings, we want to have a great atmosphere. We want to have a good agenda put together ahead of time, and we want to stick to the agenda, be on time with the agenda. We want the meetings to be educational. We want to be able to have as many people as participate in a meeting as possible, and we want to give good evaluation of not only the speeches, but of the meeting as a whole. When it comes to the pillar of the members, we want the members to be engaged, enthusiastic, have goals that they want to achieve, and recognize that achievement as well. This was one of my favorite things to do as an area director this past year, was to visit the clubs on top of the regular club visits that we have to do to check the box, but to visit the clubs and deliver educational awards to the clubs, to see the joy of recognition reflected in those members' eyes when they would receive their educational awards, to be recognized in front of their peers, in front of their group, in front of their club for what they had achieved. And to me, that is one of the best things, because that speaks to me about the greatness within those people. And then with guests, we want to engage the guests when they come to a meeting. Don't just have them come in the room and they sit in the corner. We want to talk to them, welcome them warmly, recognize the guests at the meeting, give them an opportunity to speak if they so desire, and then we need to follow up with them as well. We can't just say, hey, thanks for coming to the meeting, we'll see you again. Follow up with them, some phone call, an email, whatever it might be, a conversation. but make sure you follow up with your guests. So this is part of what the culture and the foundation that we want to help clubs build as they go through the year. Now, in a moment, I'm going to have Sanjeev move everybody to a room, and we're going to have about 10 minutes for discussion. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 2 questions. And you may want to write these down so you can, and we're going to take about 10 minutes for it. So the first question is, how does an individual benefit by participating as a club coach? So if you identified somebody as a potential club coach, what are some of the benefits of being a club coach? Imagine that you were that club coach. How would you see yourself benefiting from being a club coach? And the second question is, if you were a struggling club, what skills or characteristics would you like to see in your club coach? Remember that we want to build a foundation and a culture within the club, and the coach is going to be there at every meeting to help the club build that culture and that foundation. So the way we're going to break up going to breakout rooms is we're going to change things up a little bit. The area directors are not going to be with their regular division directors. We want everybody to start to get to know each other a little bit. So the division directors are going to be in charge of the room. They can assign somebody or ask for a volunteer to record the discussion. And then after we finish the breakout room, we come back together, we'll have each division director or whoever volunteers to represent that group present their results in about 1.5 minutes. Let's start with whoever was in Division A's room, and let's hear, I think that was Steph, that was your room?
So for the first question, how does an individual benefit from being a club coach? We had a really great discussion. The biggest premise was learning a lot and stretching yourself, because we know that we grow when we're put in a position where we're stretched and we're outside of our comfort zone. So that growth and developing ourselves and our skill sets, meeting new people, expanding our networks, working with new people, the growing motivation and developing skill sets, and then the interpersonal or soft skills like empathy and being heart-centered and leading from a place of authenticity and being in tune with really who we are was the other component of the benefit that we can receive by being a club coach. The second one is the skill set that you would want to see in a club coach. So the readiness to understand club culture and the differences associated with different clubs, being flexible and not having a cookie cutter sort of mindset that one size fits all, judgment-free, not treating people like members, but as people, having a high degree of emotional intelligence, past experience with coaching, qualifications to lead others in that capacity, and enthusiasm.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you. So lots of great stuff in there. And just to let everybody know, we're going, as Division B director starts to get ready for her presentation or the groups, just letting everybody know that some of these ideas that are coming up are some of the qualities that we want to be aware of in potential leaders, whether it be as a club coach, as the next area directors, etc. So keeping your eyes out for people who have these characteristics is going to be really, really good. So let's next have the Division B directors room speaking. I think that was Rosa, that was your room?
Yes, it is, and it'll be me, Mike.
Okay.
Not Mike.
Joe, it's okay.
So we had a lot of discussion on the first question, which is the benefit for the coaches. A lot of it around developing skills and learning, as was said. So some of the skills that you will probably develop is you need somebody that's a good motivator and persuader. There's a benefit of also being able to, because you're probably going to be delivering a lot of education sessions or more presentations if the members are hesitant to do so. So it gives you the opportunity to advance in your own pathways. Someone who's good at building relationships, it'll benefit your own network in Toastmasters. It'll make you a better mentor. A lot of these skills, we talked about how you can apply them to the workplace, both in managing teams, but also managing up. Also, you become a bit of an expert in having those difficult conversations. You have to sort of speak the truth to people that may not be that open to hearing it. As well, I think they'll develop an ability to ask good questions and coming up with having the club, you ask the questions and then your ability to have them come up with the solutions. So those are some of the things, some of the skills you'll develop as a club coach. It was also noted that perhaps the second time you're club coach, you'd probably be better at it because it's such a big learning experience. So, you know, maybe expectations for the first time around can be managed a little bit more. Some of the qualities they wanted to look for were somebody with a lot of new ideas and how to implement them, knowledgeable about Toastmasters, somebody that's committed to the long-term constant energy and presence, showing up to the meetings, good observation and listening skills, maybe somebody with good storytelling so they can inspire the members with their messages. So that's it in a nutshell. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's have the Division C directors room, and I can't remember who all the division directors are, so pardon me, but whoever is in the Division C directors room, we'd love to hear from you now.
Karen will do our reporting for our group.
Thank you, Kaman.
Thanks, Kaman. That's good because I wasn't sure exactly where I was. All right, so the first question, what skills would you like to see in a mentor, sorry, not a mentor, a club coach? We felt that they should be knowledgeable and know or be able to find the resources for anything that they don't know within the district. They should also be a motivator, able to help create and maintain a good ambiance and culture with the club. They should be able to lead by example, help people recognize their own strengths and potential growth objectives as well. Personable, and that one was, I think, quite important, and committed, and they should be able to help with developing a membership strategy and be respectful of the executive and their current roles and what their decisions have been to that point. So the second question about how an individual might benefit from taking on a role as a club coach. Well, we thought that they should be able to find potential in members and a club executive. And this is where my notes got a little shaky. So if anyone wants to jump in on the rest.
Okay, that's okay. If that's what you got, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks.
Next, let's have the Division D directors room.
Kevin will take over from here. Kevin.
Okay. Thank you, Latif.
Hello, everyone. So we did some great brainstorming and came up with some great ideas. The first question is, as a coach, what skills would you develop as a coach? I mean, after it's all over, I would think for me that great self-confidence. I can't imagine we had some club coaches in our group, developing self-confidence for sure. That would be number one for me. And also as well, oh my goodness, sorry everyone. Hello? Hello?
Yep.
I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Kevin, you're still with us.
I'm still with you? Okay,
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I didn't expect that. One thing is a sense of accomplishment. I did this. That's fantastic. A sense of leadership, understanding, listening skills. Our group mentioned of the ability for problem solving. That would be great.
Perfect.
That's for our first
Right.
the first section. The second one was quite interesting. We had some interesting ideals. So I'm sitting in the room and a club coach comes into the room. What would I want them to have? Well, if we have a club coach in the first place, I want them to have the ability, how we're going to get members. How are they going to promote our club? Also approachable, someone that's very approachable. our members mentioned experience, lots of experience,
Perfect.
lots of expertise. Again, as I admitted, listening skills and commitment. I want this club coach to be very committed, and I think my time's up. I'm sorry about the cat.
Excellent. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Mhm. Great ideas in there. Next, we'd like to have the Division F directors group speak for us, please.
All right, thank you very much. So to look at the first question, how does an individual benefit by being a coach? We looked at a few different areas. One thing that we've already heard about is the sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. You are actually going to feel useful because you've actually accomplished something tangible in your club. And you're going to feel a sense of satisfaction of watching that club grow and improve as the year goes on. So there's definitely a real sense of accomplishment. You've really done something great with that club. You're also going to notice that you're going to discover and develop skill sets that you didn't know that you had before. For example, you're going to look at problem solving, time management, diplomacy, and how to apply the lessons learned. You're going to develop those skills over the course of your term as a coach. The other thing you're going to find in yourself is that you're going to grow a lot in terms of your knowledge of Toastmasters, because you're going to get a lot of questions from clubs on areas that you may not have thought about before. And they're going to look to you for answers. And so you're going to discover that there's a lot of information out there. And by the end of the term, you're going to be something of an expert in Toastmasters procedures and rules and regulations. So you're going to get a lot of satisfaction and a lot of knowledge and going to build a lot of skill sets as a coach over the course of the year. Moving into the second question of what would you like to see in a club coach? Well, for sure you want someone who is tactful, who is able to convey news, updates, and information without necessarily stepping on anybody's toes. To recognize the culture that is unique to that particular club and be able to adapt your approach to it. Also, you want someone who is available. So it's not something you can do with 1 or 2 visits during the year as a coach. You need to visit that club regularly throughout the year, and in order to see where the club is and where they need to go. So make yourself available, make your presence known, and make sure that they know that they can come to you. Also, you need to give clear direction to the club. Don't try to solve everything at once. Instead, work with the club, identify maybe 2 or 3 key areas and focus your efforts on those areas. And once you solve those problems, you can move on to other things. But try to do 1 or 2 or maybe 3 things at once instead of trying to solve all the problems at once. Also, don't be afraid to set goals, and don't be afraid to set ambitious goals. We talked about the example, if a club had 7 points last year, don't tell them, let's do 7 points again this year. Instead, set a goal for, let's go for 9 points this year. There's no reason why you can't set an ambitious goal for the club. So don't be afraid to set those lofty goals for the club and set the bar high and encourage them to shoot for the moon, if you will. So just a few of the key areas we looked at today.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. That was great. Next, we'd like to have the Division G directors group, please.
Yes, thank you. Well, about the first question, the benefits of being a club coach. Okay, so be patient. I have so many things that I wrote. It's quite something. So that I will start with you continue to learn, and it's the first thing. It's the only thing that we wrote because we started with the second question. So so we consider that you continue to learn. Well, now the second question: why? What skills would you like to see in your club coach? At first, of course, we were talking. We thought about soft skills such as credibility, being able to build trust, of course, being competent, to have compassion, to show, in fact, preferably to be someone who cares about. Who cares about the interest of the club itself. And secondly, we need to have someone, in English, élaborer un plan. So it's someone who can, build a plan, think about a plan with the club, build a plan, and identify well the needs, the specific needs of the club. And that's very important. Following that, okay, after that, it's we need to have a real Toastmaster. Someone who really enjoys it, and someone who attends his own club meetings, right. And someone who would be the image of all the other clubs. Someone who needs to be active on his own club, in his own club. That's very important. And finally, we say someone who can give time to members to express, because sometimes you can, sometimes in such certain situation, you can have people that that are tired because they felt, they had a lot of difficulties, or they worked a lot and they had a hard time. So you need to have,
excellent.
yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel. Next, Division H, please, Director.
Well, to be simple, I'd say all of the above. And for the first question, I'd say that there's lots of benefits that are to be a coach. And to name a few is going to be the adaptability to environment, adaptability to cultures, adaptability to resistance facing changes, having a close eye to the best practices, developing a listening about opportunities, and the most important of all is helping others to develop their own abilities and competencies is the word of looking over the new opportunities, new openings for each members. The second question about is be a powerful listener about members' needs. Being able to listen to the church's ring. Become a diplomat. Okay, being able to build a relation based from respectfulness, and being able to listen to members' request.
Okay.
Not my request, but their request.
Perfect. Okay, Alain, I'm going to have to, in the interest of time, I'm going to have to move on to the next one. So make sure we fit everybody in. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Alain. That was great. So next is Division I, please, Director.
I was with Alain.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, that's our cue here and knock on today. I don't know if you want to say something.
Yes, was thinking I was going to go next, but yes, we thought for a great qualities for a coach would be not a great, what a coach will learn, sorry. It's to transfer its knowledge as a coach in Toastmasters to the real life. Example, being able to coach employees in a job, being able to coach some people they know in personal life. It can be, and it can add also at the professional level some skills on a CV, for example. And what skills must a good coach have for Toastmasters? We noted that a good coach should be very available to the members, help them to find their own solution by asking the right question. It is not for the coach to give the solution, but ask the right question for the to help the member having their own solution. It can help also if a coach have gone in many clubs to know what is done in other clubs, and know lots of people for more networking during all session to grow the membership of the club.
Okay, thank you, Marc-Andre. That was excellent. So, all awesome ideas. Now, a lot of these ideas we are going to be bringing forward into the coaching program this year. I just wanted to run over a little bit about what the division director and area director role is in the club coach program. Unless you are signed up or applying to be a club coach yourself, we would like you to introduce us, myself as club coach program chair and Amy Campbell as the club growth director, into people that you have identified as candidates as coaches. So basically the division director is there to support the area director and be a resource for the area director and the coach and the club coach. The area director's job as well is to identify those great coaching candidates, introduce them to us, and then work with the club coach and under their direction, because the club coach is expected to be in the club on a regular basis, if not every meeting, pretty darn close to it, because they're going to be helping the club move forward and really grow that their club, creating the foundation and the culture. And so the area directors and division directors there as support and resources, and to help the club coach and the club find the materials that they need and get the job done that they need to do. So we really want to emphasize that point. Again, if you want to be able to connect myself and Amy with those great coaching candidates, there's our information to contact us. Amy's email is cgd@tmd61.com. My email is clubcoachchair@tmd61, so you can get in touch with us there. The last thing that I'd like to go over with you is how we're actually going to be running this program. Throughout the year, there's going to be 6 sessions where it's going to be myself, and I also have an assistant in the club coach program chair who's going to be helping with me with the French translation on my presentations. We're going to have 6 presentations throughout the year, so every other month, starting later this month, on actual coaching skills and techniques that you can develop yourself as a club coach and then go into the clubs with. So this is part of the personal and professional development that we talked about earlier. Also, in the opposite month, there's going to be coaching conversations where I'm going to be getting in touch with each of the coaches on more of a one-to-one type of a basis and having a conversation with them. What are they up to? What are they struggling with? What are their wins? What do they need from me as the club coach program chair? So those are some of the things that we are going to be doing throughout the year. And all of the ideas and the processes that we've come up with today as a group are going to be brought into that program so that we can move everything forward and help the clubs create that great foundation and culture in their club. So again, there's my information. As you can tell by some of the pictures that I've used in this presentation, I like to have fun as well. This doesn't all have to be serious stuff. Let's have some fun out there, play with what we're doing, and enjoy it and get joy out of it.